Hey everybody, it's Sophie and Marco just out on movies. The only movie review show on YouTube to review movies in terms of food. It's just Marco here once again. I wanted to talk about the top 10 worst old movies of 2021 that I watched. Now, I have a couple honorable mentions. There were some pretty bad movies this year. Not as much as last year, but still a lot of bad movies. And I've been partying for New Year's if you're wondering what's going on with me. So the first dishonorable mention is Dangerous Intentions. And this is one of those made-for-TV soap opera movies about an abusive husband, and it is a cheesy shit movie. It's overly depressing and it's garbage. It's so bad. I can't believe that I watched the whole thing. It was just like one long F you. Just the whole movie was like, oh, this poor woman can't do this and can't do that and can't do this because this cheesy abusive husband, and he gives this cheesy performance, and it sucked. Another dishonorable mention was The Talented Mr. Ripley. I don't know what the fuck this movie was. It was just some fucking dumb fuck movie, and it was boring, and it was a waste of my time, and it was a waste of your time. Another dishonorable mention was Terrifier. Now, I don't know what the fuck this movie was either. It was basically like a clown kills people, and that's literally the whole movie. And I thought, God, this is the stupidest fucking shit I've ever seen. There's nothing to it. It's just this movie pisses me off so much. I wish I could put it in the top 10 worst. That's how much I hate it. The Terrifier. And the next dishonorable mention, and the last dishonorable mention, is Puppet Master Axis Rising. This movie was even worse than I could have ever expected. It was like a boring filler movie, and it's another stupid-ass World War II movie. And basically the plot is that there's a woman, evil German woman with big boobs, and she turns into a puppet with boob guns. And then there's a German scientist bad guy, and that's the story. That's how stupid this movie is. It was so boring, it made me want to throw up. Now, for the top 10, number 10 is The Blair Witch Project, aka the part 3. This movie was so bad. It was literally just a copy of the original movie, and it was a poor copy at that. Not only that, but it wasn't scary. It was predictable. It was trash. It was boring. They finally show the witch, and she's like this stupid monster thing. This movie pissed me off so much. I'm so glad that it was able to make it to the top 10 worst, so I could talk about how bad it was. I got some potato casserole here. I'll be eating a little bit for my dinner. Number 9 is Birds of Prey. This movie, not only is it a feminazi agenda movie, which that's bad enough. Feminazi agendas pretty much ruin any movie. But it's also a really poor Birds of Prey adaptation. And it's basically, as I said in the commentary, it's basically BMX Bandits, but with these shit feminazi characters. And it was so bad. I was like, God, this movie, it makes me want to punch the television screen of how bad it is. And like, oh, just because it's rated R means it's good? Like, fuck off. Fucking fanboys. Number 8 is The Chant of Jimmy Blacksmith. This was one of my Australian movies that I watched for the second Australian month that I never filmed. This movie is literally encouraging and promoting violence against white people. It's literally just one long promotion of, like, if you're a black person of any kind, then you should take an axe and kill women and children for no reason whatsoever. Like, the people that were actually racist in this movie, they don't even get killed. It's like these women and children, and it's really upsetting and disturbing, and it made me want to throw up. The fact that they thought that we would feel sorry for this horrible, evil main character. Like, I was rooting for him to die, like, as soon as he did that. Like, what a fucking, like, I thought from the advertising, I thought maybe it would just be an accident, or maybe he'd accidentally kill one guy who was like, he deserved it, like in that Sweet Country movie. But no, he literally just massacres women and children, and then it's like, oh, look, this is what all black people should do. And then number 7 is Bumblebee. I watched this movie against my will, and it was so bad. You could tell it was made by a female filmmaker. I mean, it was just such a feminazi trash movie. It was basically just ripping off of Iron Giant. It was boring. It was bland. It was dull. It was predictable, and it was trash. And it was just like one long nostalgia trip. 6, wait, am I on 6? 10, 9, 8, 7. 6 is Twilight. Twilight was fucking abysmal. It was horribly offensive in how, like, just gross it was. It was like just one long mistake of a movie. Like, I was just watching it going like, ugh. Like, people actually like this disgusting piece of shit movie? This fucking faggoty ass fucking fake vampire romance pedophile fucking bullshit. This is fucking gay. Twilight is the gayest shit I've seen all year, and it was just such a fucking embarrassment of a film. Number 5, speaking of embarrassments, number 5 is Invaders from Mars. I was expecting great things from this movie since it was Tobe Hooper, and boy, I was wrong. Tobe Hooper really shit the bed with this one. What a boring waste of time. I mean, nothing happens in the movie, hardly. It's boring. It made me want to fall asleep. It was so unscary, and I just, it pisses me off just thinking about it, because I watched it with no expectations, except for I just wanted to have a fun time, and then instead of having a fun time, I had a horrible time suffering through this movie. Speaking of suffering, number 4 is Ghostquake. Now, I watched this because it had Sean C. Phillips in it, which is something I'll never do again. This movie was one of the worst movies I've ever seen. It was horrible in every way, shape, or form. It was another cheap, made-for-TV movie, and what am I supposed to like about this fucking bullshit? It's just trash. It's low-budget trash. Nobody takes it seriously. Nobody likes it. And number 3 is Fat Planet. This movie is as bad as it sounds. I thought that maybe it would be funny, but it was so bad I couldn't even finish it. It was another one with Sean C. Phillips, of course. because basically every movie he's in is pretty much guaranteed to be garbage. This movie was really embarrassingly bad. There was like this personal trainer, and he's so full of himself that like he, you could tell he was like this, he made himself the star of the movie so he could show off, and I don't know what I don't care. Number 2 is Suicide Squad 2016. I thought that this movie wouldn't be that horrible, but wow, it was really, really bad. I mean, from the horrible casting, like Margot Robbie playing Harley Quinn, what an embarrassment. Will Smith playing Deadshot, token Deadshot, that is. Jared Leto playing Joker, and the movie itself was just so bad. Like, it was basically a bunch of bullshit blah. Like, I can't even remember what happened. It was so, it was miserable to sit through this entire movie, to sit through this wannabe edgelord bullshit movie. I hated it. And speaking of things that I hate, number 1 is Destiny, the movie that we watched to celebrate 100 subscribers. What a disgusting movie this was. This movie was basically one long fuck you. The whole movie is like it doesn't make any sense. That's another thing. This movie doesn't make any sense. It's based around a story that just is trash, where this girlfriend's boyfriend gets kidnapped, or her fiance, he gets kidnapped by Death, and then we never see him get killed, and then he's keeping him in this garden or something. It's just so confusing and stupid, and the whole movie is just these horrible segments of her going to these different sequences to try to fix other people so that they won't die, and they're just so predictable and stupid. And then with the last one, Death literally cheats, and he literally like rides in on a flying horse because he's just so fed up with the fact that she would win, and it just the whole movie was so miserable. And then at the end, the main character, she literally becomes a psychopath who's like going around asking people to kill themselves so that her stupid ass fucking fiance can come back to life. Like, what a selfish bitch. And then Death himself, he was really bland. He was basically just this European guy who glared at people. Like, that's all he was. There's just so many bad things about this movie that it makes you wonder, like, why is this movie considered a masterpiece? Like, at the very end of the movie, she reunites with her fiance by dying too. And I thought, like, that's not a victory at all. Like, that's literally the opposite of a victory. And it's just, I hate this movie. It's so funny though how we picked it for our 100 subscribers, and it's the worst movie of the year. And I'm sorry that I stopped, but I just saw the piece of shit Batman trailer pop up. I'm seeing this fucking token Catwoman, aka Black Woman, on screen with this fucking Twilight Batman. And it's pissing me off so much that I want to talk about that instead of Destiny. Anyways, Destiny is the worst movie of the year by far. The worst old movie. And to be honest though, I would say that at least this movie had less bad movies that I watched. There were older movies. I guarantee for next year there will be a ton of bad movies. For sure. So anyways, if you like this video, like it, comment, and subscribe. Goodbye, everybody. See you soon.